Wrong one, but. Okay, well, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to the Week 5 Titan Esports Conqueror League between XSV Greed and Bloom Gaming Orchids. My name is Fel, and I am joined tonight by special co-caster Cop42 Mike. Mike, welcome to the program. How are you tonight?
Oh, I'm doing pretty well. How are you doing today, Fel?
Oh, not bad. We got two teams coming up here. What are you looking for tonight between Greed and Bloom Gaming?
Well, this series has pretty big playoff implications right now. So this is going to be a really well fought series, I would imagine. Right now, I probably have BLCG favored, but we will see going into it.
Yeah, I know if you read the weekly predictions like we all do, thanks, big shout out to the Titan production. They are the lower seed, but they are expected to win tonight, right? And so both of these teams, as you said, big playoff implications. Greed barely holding on to their spot. Bloom Gaming trying to overtake them. And then, I mean, even if you lose tonight, it's not completely over. But there is an opportunity for them to at least solidify and then, put it all in their hands, right? And then you don't have to worry about somebody else losing. And even if you win the rest of your games, it doesn't guarantee you in there. So, both of these teams are fighting hard for this as we're going to get into the draft, pick band phase here. We are going to have Bloom Gaming on the blue side and XSV Greed on the red side. First band coming out is the Shen, looking to get rid of some globals.
Yeah, and then the Aatrox following it up with that. So they're putting a big emphasis on top and jungle right now in terms of bans, either or. And then a Darius to follow it up as well.
Yeah, it doesn't look like they really want any of this top smoke coming through. Neither of these teams really have any standout players that are highest rated, but just on a losing team or anything like that. But they obviously know each other very well. They play each other all the time, and this group C, even though it's a smaller group, is pretty contentious. And top lane this season, as we've seen with bruisers being able to get to level 20 and stuff, the extra stats and everything is absolutely insane. So huge prio on that right now, as the bans are going to get rounded out with the LeBlanc for Bloom Gaming and then the Kale and the Ashe for Greed. So XFV sticking with the top, and then eventually both of them moving to a mid and an ADC, as Jinx is going to be the first pick.
Yeah, and then to match it, they're going with extra scaling with Smolder here. So right now, what I'd like to see from both these teams is maybe some early jungle priority, with Jarvan being locked in right there.
Love it when you call it. Just works out.
Just works out.
Yeah, so we are going to get that, and then also I think what we're going to need is some, peel, right? You're going to want some safety, so we do get the Thresh, who also is going to be able to get some lockdown. So you do have Thresh, and if Goose can pilot Thresh really well, how many times have we seen really good Threshes? Flag of Drag comes in, oh, never mind, you get flayed backwards, right? And then after that, you're just kind of standing there as a Jarvan. Are you going to flash Cataclysm, or what's going on? And then Bloom Gaming also picking up the Xin Xiao, and then another super peel on the other side here, the Alistar, who actually also adds a little bit of sustain for the Smolder. So Coop is going to be a pretty well protected with this Alistar here, but there is a lot of potential with the hook, from Thresh and with the Xin Xiao being able to get onto the back line. So Alistar and Jarvan really strong, want to fight and keep everybody off the Smolder. Thresh, Xin Xiao want to get in there, also providing a lot of peel for the Jinx, as well as Silas and Ambessa is going to be banned out for Greed, and then Set and top laner. Yep, for Bloom Gaming.
Yeah, so they don't want any of their ultimates to be taken away, so maybe you might see a Malphite or something top lane potentially. I don't know. Oh, nope, Mordekaiser.
Yeah, so as a reminder, obviously this is a fearless draft. It is a best of 3, so maybe not pulling out all of the strong stops. We have been seeing a lot, especially in the D4 and under a lot of the Malphite jungle. He has basically completely moved over there when they gave like 5 hit points, 5 extra damage to minions on him. So we have been seeing a lot of that as the Urgot and the Syndra. Very interesting pick here from Bloom Gaming. I do like this for Peachy picks, but I do. Okay, as the Akali. So there is going to be a lot of isolation potential for the side of XSV, with the Akali being able to get into the backline, ult around, get to the Jinx, and then, for the Mordekaiser to basically just steal somebody, right? So if there's contested objectives on the map, you could get the Mordekaiser just to ult the Xin Zhao and get him in there, and completely take this thing over. So a lot is going to be put onto the top lane who, with 8, what is that? 2, 4, 6, 8. So yeah, 8 bans going towards the top. A lot of priority is going to be, put onto Chromium and a Smoke during this game. But how are you feeling about the drafts right now?
So looking at BLGC, I'm seeing that they have 3 primary AD champions, with Syndra being very much the emphasis for their source of AP. Although I do really like Urgot with this composition, as he can be able to apply Black Cleaver very consistently onto targets. Now, in regards to the Xin Zhao pick against this team, it's going to be kind of hard for him to be able to engage on Akali, Mordekaiser a little bit, unless he's overextending, and even Smolder and Alistair. So I actually think right now I'm looking at XSVG as having kind of a draft advantage right now.
Okay. Okay, so as we're about to get into the game real quick, and we'll talk about that analysis as this comes up, who do you have for game 1? Is it going to be Greed, or are you going to go for Bloom Gaming with the Jinx?
I'm going to go with Greed here.
Okay. Okay, all right. So we put that down as the caster. Is it going to be the caster catch or the caster curse? We'll see. As we get into here, it doesn't look like we're getting anything too crazy. I do know that we have been seeing, for those who haven't been paying attention, it doesn't look like they're going to do it, but we have been seeing the 1 minion steal, if you will, from the top laners, where they stand in the top brush and the mid laner just pushes down 1 minion. You share half that XP and you basically get a free level at the end of one wave. But not going to see that this game. Hopefully we'll see it next game. And then yeah, as you were saying before, Bloom Gaming does end up having a lot of standard front, want to fight front to back with the Xin Zhao and the Urgot in the front line, protecting the Jinx and threshing everybody onto the backside. Whereas XFV, they do have a lot of scrap ability, I guess, if that's a word, right? They are going to be able to do kind of what they want. One problem they do maybe have is that the lanes are probably going to get shoved in their way, and a lot of prio for these early objectives is going to go to the way of Bloom Gaming instead of XFV.
Yeah, and so one of the things I do really like about XSVG is the fact that they have a lot of control in terms of deciding when or when not they want to fight. I do like their 1-3-1 composition a lot. I don't know if that's what they're planning to do in this game, but it is pretty effective if they can get a strong enough lead early on. But again, they're probably going to have to be worrying so much about
Yeah, as we do get a flash flag and drag from Will Show Them All coming in onto Peach Pixie on the Syndra. She is able to get out, just burning a flash, so a flash for flash at the same time. There's a little bit of action coming down onto the bot side here. Smolder just trying to get some stacks. Alistair's trying to stand in the way, and then obviously, Goose and this Jinx are probably going to try as best they can to just keep shoving this wave.
Yeah, as I was saying though, I think if they're looking to fight, they better hope Xin Zhao isn't nearby in proximity. Because that's the last thing you want in this game. So now we got them looking to continuing to push bot side. I don't know if I necessarily would want that with Xin Zhao nearby, but we'll see.
Yeah, so I mean, it is what it is. I guess like they're gonna try to do what they can. It does look like they are gonna try to set up a potential dive here, but more than likely just kind of going for these scuttles here. We do have the junglers going opposite sides, which is not normally what we're seeing. Normally we're seeing the pathing from top side to the bottom, and then whichever bot lane has prio has sort of been like the support that gets to go out and secure the scuttle. But as of right now, mirroring each other, kind of on the opposite sides here. Sinja does have a nice ward here, does spot out Xin Xiao on this ward, so there won't be any action there. But yeah, pretty standard, pretty low so far. We did almost get Goose to be able to get a Thresh Hook onto Koopa under the turret, but just minions got in the way there. Do see a couple pings over to the top side. They do see that the Jarvan was there, but he did back, so. Standard full clear into the backside here. Potentially the first, objective is probably going to be the dragon. If we don't really get any good prio or any good fights, it might end up extending over to a late dragon and the void grubs.
So right now, I really like the ward coverage and top side. Whereas at bot side, it can be, it does have a little bit of its weaknesses right now. And Jarvan is, well, he's not pathing towards that way, but if he was, it would have been pretty easy for him to not be spotted in that situation.
Yeah, no, I agree. And you like that they've actually put like 3 all the way over. They will see Xin Xiao coming top side. They do not want Chromium, or they do not want Smoke to fall behind at all on this Mordekaiser. He's one of those champions that, while not technically a huge lane bully, can turn it up, as we are going to get a little bit of a headbutt and pulverize into just trying to get some stacks off of his relic there for Jellybean. But yeah, a pretty quiet game. It does look like we are going to get a small roam out of Sinja. The mid lane, it does look like XSV is going to either try to get a little scrap off and then go for the dragon, or they're going to try to start this dragon early.
Yeah, and they spot Xin Zhao at the Krugs right now. And still going for Dragon at this point.
Yeah.
Both bot sides.
Yeah, it does look.
Head over.
Yeah, it does look like Bloom Gaming was thinking about maybe conceding as Jinx was backing, but now they're just going to try to get this ward vision. It is going to be a 50-50 here. Psaro is going to miss, so he's going to have to try to come in with the audacious charge. In range, but a little bit of fight is starting to get out here, as we do have Alistair tanking the dragon for everybody else. Thresh and Flay is going to go wide here as Jellybean jumping in. We get to Jarvan on top, and there's the heal pushed out, and First Blood going over to Xin Xiao on the side of Bloom Gaming as they're going to try to follow this up. Jinx is excited but super low, trying to get out of there. Going to get the flash into the backline by Sinja. Going to get herself a double kill on the Sakali as Koopa getting away from Pissarro on his Xin Xiao. He is going to try to get out of here. Does not have flash available because he used it offensively. And that is a 2-for-1 in the first fight for XSV.
Pretty good scrap. Both teams now not looking to go for Dragon at this moment. Something really important is Urgot's WMAX scaling right now. He's only 1 level away from being able to keep it his chain gun on consistently, which could change the top lane matchup pretty dramatically, depending if you can keep this lead or not.
Yeah, and it's interesting too, right? Like both of these guys have like refused to back, like they're just sitting there shoving back, going back and forth here, and like just trying to get whatever they can here. But both of them, the Smoke is getting a little bit of a tempo advantage here. Oh, as Flash is going to be pulled out because the move forward on the Urgot is going to take him over and force him out of there, as Goose going to miss a little bit of a hook here. And it does look like XFV is looking to maybe start up this Dragon. Pissarro on the top side, going to try to get on top of this Mordekaiser, but both of them have to be careful about getting pulled into the Death Realm. Pissarro is going to get pulled in with Smoke to try to negate the Urgot ultimate. It does not work. He does end up getting him anyways. The kill does go over to the Xin Xiao, which both of those champions are really, really strong. And now we're starting to see Koopa with the Sheen completed, able to do a lot of damage to this Jinx.
Yeah, and right now they traded topside for Dragon at this point. Pretty good to get a Cloud Drake early on for this team, though.
Yeah, it's going to get them a ton of roam potential. Sinja's going to hop over the wall, going to bust out here. Sinja is going to miss the EQ combo. It is going to go down. Sinja with some really good like stealth techniques there, able to get in and out. Completely fooled Peachy on this Syndra as to what they were trying to do here. Is now Cronium trying to repay Smoke for the gank earlier. It does go in after the teleport, but is immediately going to have to go right back out, and does have his flash available, but there's no ult for either of these. But we do have an ignite for Smoke, as at the same time Pissarro is taking these grubs, does get the first two, does get all three stealthily, as he is going to get hopped on here by the Akali. He's going to give his life over, but you get 3 grubs for that. You are taking it away from Smoke, who is now starting to, for the moment, outscale Urgot on this Cronium. So we're going to get a flash Cataclysm right away into Peachy. Does get hit by the Goose Hook that we were talking about. The play is also going to save away from the Alistar. So Peachy gets the flash Cataclysm, gets hooked as he's trying to go in. So as he's trying to flag and drag out and keep her knocked up. So really, really well done by Goose. Just saved at least 1 kill, if not a follow-up kill there. And his mid laner does get to keep playing this game for the moment. But we do have a 4-0 Akali right now. That is an extremely scary Sinja on this champion. And 5-0 now because she just kind of jumps in under turret and goes. We aren't going to be able to see the replay, unfortunately, but we do, get to see that. Yeah.
Oh my
So
goodness.
Sinja on this Akali, this is getting really scary. Imagine if she already had her Dark Seal.
Oh yeah, the fact of the matter is too, while they do have Thresh, they don't really have the greatest peel to be able to prevent her from diving both the backline champions.
No, as far as point and click CC, I think the only one you have is if she's trying to come in and Xin Shao ults backwards, right? As we did see earlier, Jellybean did get caught trying to Hex Flash by Goose, so Goose is 1000% locked in on this game now, as we are going to see Pissarro. The hook is going to miss wide and end up hitting a minion, so that is going to just be a, hey, we're here gank, and not a successful one. Jarvan clearing out some vision here. We are about to have a numbers advantage of a 4v3, as Sinja waiting in the wings to come out. Flag drag comes in, it does miss, but he does get the slow. Sinja popping out, coming in, does end up missing the Shuriken as Pissarro tries to go back in here, but now it looks like they've turned their attention over to Goose. I don't think he's going to be able to do anything. The ultimate coming out from Koopa will not hit anybody, so that will not be any extra stacks, and we are now a 5-0-1, sharing the wealth. Sinja on this Akali.
Yeah. Alistar getting the kill here, getting the support tax.
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean,
Right
when
now,
it kind of like sets up the play too, right? Like,
yeah,
you deserve it.
just get a quicker locket or something like that, just help the team out a little bit more consistently. But right now, all focus when it comes to warding needs to be in mid lane.
Yeah, as Jarvan, once again active, is going to guarantee this kill for Sinja, as he does get the flag and drag into the Cataclysm, and in Sinja, easy follow-up there. Yeah, and as you're talking about itemization and stuff, we do see now, like, the Mordekaiser does have the Rylai's completed now. Pissarro going to try to get in here. They are going to try to, somebody here does get out, flashes away, will take that, but the Audacious Charge is not going to be up in time, and Sinja is going to get out of here now with Jellybean Jeff on this Alistar, able to peel just enough for Sinja to get out of there. Almost was able to set that up for a counterattack from Sinja, just didn't have the cooldowns.
Yeah, this Alistar is doing a great job right now in terms of not only engaging, but also disengaging fights right now. Saving the life right there, and then also engaging earlier nearby the rift.
Yeah, definitely is. As Urgot is actually going to be able to get in another flash from Smoke. That's twice now that he's gotten him under there. So maybe Smoke is just kind of like being a little extra aggressive when his flash is up, and then maybe not when it's not, but he's got to be careful there, because you give a kill over to this Urgot and he gets that, the Black Cleaver, as you were talking about earlier, and that could be extremely bad for you.
Yeah.
Jellybean Joff gonna hop in with the headbutt pulverize. No follow-up damage is going to happen, though.
Yeah, right now Smolder has an item advantage with the Essence Reaver, which is going to be really critical for being able to improve the rate of stacks.
Yeah, definitely wouldn't be able to get 3 as we are about to get a little bit of action potentially coming down for this Dragon. XFV do start it up, but they are pushed off pretty quickly as they get collapsed on here, but they're going to start it up again. They do have Sinja there who is extremely strong, does end up having the Hex Tech completed, and it doesn't look like Bloom Gaming want to contest this, and I think rightfully so, right? Like, you're pretty far behind. If you give this Akali 2 more kills and maybe a Smolder, like 4 or 5 more stacks, that could be really bad. As Peachy does seem like she wants to go in here. This to fight. This is not going to be enough. As Sinja getting out the Omnivamp coming through from the Gunblade, and that is going to be just enough for her to get that kill and stay alive. As now Will Shaldemal is going to get caught out by Parso. The Audacious Charge comes through, does get the knock-up, and now Goose with a good hook. Caught out, but still wanting to go as Jeff is going to headbutt Pulverize in. The ultimate is hit up by the Xin Shao, as now Urgot coming in is going to try to get this kill. He's going to get 2 over here. Chromium getting the Alistar now. Urgot trying to press this off. It does look like they want to dive, but now the turret is charged up. It's already hit 2 times. We are going to see Pissarro going in here, taking this. The barrier is gonna be not enough to save the Smolder, but he does get a return kill onto the Xin Shao, so that's a 4-man dive onto the bot lane with a teleport spent, and now you have Mordekaiser who actually gets the first turret.
Yeah, Urgot getting 2 kills right there, critical for being able to start trying to match Mordekaiser.
Yeah, as we do have Sinja coming down on the Akali, a great hook, and then the play follow-up is not enough to save himself, but it potentially does save the Jinx. As you know, they are able to get out of there. Just a Goose, man, just a good guy Thresh now, right? Like, he's saved so many people now already this game, playing this Thresh like almost perfectly, but this Akali is super strong right now and going to be extremely hard to deal with. And Akali's not one of these people that really falls off that much, as the headbutt Pulverize is going to get on top of Peachy. We'll show them all on the Jarvan, is going to flag and drag in, gonna get the kill. And now Pissarro trying to fight Mordekaiser in the Death Realm here, sustaining just enough, gets the ultimate off Chromium. Does catch Mordekaiser on the way out, but Smoke doing a pretty good job. The ultimate is going to he is going to get Fear Beyond Death, and he's going to get onto a killing spree, and this might be the answer that Bloom Gaming needs for Sinja and the Sakali.
Yeah, right now they got their top laner and their jungler online when it comes to tank. Oh.
Yeah, that's okay. You could just keep... Oh, actually... Oh my gosh, does end up taking Jinx down, but it looked like Sinja didn't really want to engage that too hard. As Jinx is forced to burn the flash barrier, almost gets the kill onto the Jarvan, so that could have been huge. They do have the Yuntals up right now. Once they finish this cold, they'll probably get like another little bit of a bump in power. But yeah, just kind of caught out there in his own jungle.
Yeah, and right now it just seems like they're just getting stronger and stronger in terms of the different lanes now, not just mid lane. Now, we'll show them all getting a pretty good amount of gold from that too, I would imagine.
Yeah, it definitely is, and this is one of those things, right, where you have the scaling comp, and you also have the early lead. Like, this is not what you want as Bloom Gaming, so they are going to have to try to start pressing these objectives and getting these number advantages. They are going to take Shelly down. Riptoad goes over to the Bloom Gaming and potentially going to use this to either try to secure a dragon or just to get some of this standing gold that's on the map, because right now they're down 2 turrets, they're down a bunch of kills, and they are down 4k gold at 17 minutes against a comp that completely outscales them, with the exception of maybe the Syndra, but Syndra getting on top of Syndra, as Peachy is gonna fall down there. The perfect execution coming through, and yeah, they're just having a day right now.
Yeah. Right now, looking at Mordekaiser, he's looking to get some Omnivamp to be able to potentially match Urgot a little bit better in terms of team fights. But and right now, Xin Zhao probably going to go for Cleaver.
Yeah, and he's also kind of going down. Does get the audacious charge, but Sinja able to get out there. Does end up missing the W. Now it looks like they're going to try to turn this one around. We'll show them all, and Jellybean Jaffa is coming around on the sides here, but they do decide to back off as Koopa's a little bit farther out. Goose here will get caught out by the Jarvan. Is going to drag, but no flag. So we'll kind of just stay there. And then, yeah, I agree with you. These itemizations do look like they're trying to just match more than what the lane opponents are, because now the biggest threat on XFV is obviously this Akali, and something that you mentioned earlier on for AD champions for the side of Bloom Gaming. Everybody can just kind of build armor and help to deal with this Urgot, as the jungle's getting stolen now from Bloom Gaming. So Pissarro getting pinched pretty hard here. Dragon is going to be the call from XFV. Jinx right into the Death Realm now, as Smoke is trying to lock him down in the Death Realm. That is going to be a dead Jinx at the end of the day. Thresh will not be able to get there. Jellybean Joff doing a good job of just peeling out the front line, and now the Rift Herald being summoned down. He's going to go without even getting a charge off, so they get a kill for the Mordekaiser, a dead Jinx, and the Dragon for their troubles, as XFV have completely taken over this mid game.
Yeah. Going for Dragon here. While they're trying to trade to get maybe mid tower? No.
Nope, Jellybean Chop on this Alistar, just going in and just basically taking no damage on the backside of this. These are the two strongest members of Bloom Gaming, and they can barely touch this Alistar. So Chromium is sitting on a ward. We'll see if XFV do try to bait this out. Yeah, this is looking bleak, and Pissarro caught out on the wrong side of the rift here. Does have Chromium in the backside, and this is a 2v2, as the Flag and Drag is going to get, we'll show them all to safety. Cataclysm flashes out, flashes back in, does get the ultimate to try to go, oh my gosh, the Fear Beyond Death ends up missing for Chromium, so he's just a sitting duck now. Will not be able to get any fears off, and Sinja on the chase here now. Peachy and Jinx are both hit. Perfect execution coming in, does end up getting on top of Jinx. There's legendary, to say the least. Flash coming out from Goose, but the follow-up headbutt pulverize coming through. That is going to be a dead Thresh, followed by a dead Syndra, followed by a dead mid turret. This is officially XFV's game to lose.
Oh yeah, the ace right there. Now they're probably, no, they're not going to go for Baron here.
I mean, you do
the 20 just yet.
Yeah, you do have the 20-minute Baron. It does do a lot of damage. They probably have a ton of money to spend after that, because they just had, what, a 3-kill and then a 5-kill and then a 2-kill all in quick succession. As Pissarro is going to try to chase down Smoke. He does know Smoke does not have Ignite or Ultimate. There is a lot of sustain on Pissarro right here, and he's actually doing a pretty good job. We'll see if Smoke can get 2 Ws off here. The follow-up, the flash away, is going to come through, as the shield is going to be enough to keep Smoke alive. He will eventually fall down to the Urgot now, but we'll show them all on this drive-in, and Jellybean Joff looking to jump on top of this Jinx. There will be a teleport from Goose on the back end. Flash away from Koopa to get himself safety. That was pretty good there, as Peachy is now on the same screen as Sinja, so I don't know if this is going to go well for them. Gonna try to jump on the Peachy here, is sort of biding their time here. It does have Jarvan in the wings here to maybe lock down. Does end up getting away from the EQ combo from Syndra, as here we go. The Cataclysm does force the flash out. We now have Chromium and Peachy against Syndra, and we'll show them all, as both supports are going to show up here, but it doesn't look like we're gonna have anything following up after that. Just a lot of back and forth and really tense moments.
Right now, teams looking to just recall here and start setting up the map positioning yet again.
Ooh, as we do see, Hex Flash coming from Goose is going to barely miss the hook on the Koopa, though. That could have been a dead Smolder, and that could have been very big. It just seems like all of the strong damage carries for the side of Bloom Gaming just never really got off here, right? You have Pissarro, who's playing a really good Xin Shao, and Chromium's playing really well on this Urgot, but it just seems like everybody else on the teams haven't really gotten what they wanted. Is now we're going to get a little bit of a scrap here from the top side. Smoke does pull Chromium into the Death Realm, but that might have been a mistake now, as he's following through, gets the Q flash forward, and the Fear Beyond Death. This could be what they needed. Tempo changing around now, as Pissarro getting on top of Jellybean Joff. Alistar going down to Lantern from the Thresh is coming out, but it's not going to be to save. It's going to be to go offensively. And now Chromium on a killing spree on this Urgot. They are trying to chase Koopa down on this Smolder. will not end up going for the hook here. The Pinks calling out for the Baron. They really want to take this. This could be their lead back in. As off screen, we did miss. Peachy ended up dying to Sinja under the turret. So we may have a teleport coming from Akali, but right now it is 3 on this Baron and 2 from the members of XFV trying to collapse here. One of them being the Smolder, as the Cataclysm is going to come through. The QW from Cooper does have the 225 stacks now, as that's going to be 2 dead for the side of Bloom Gaming, and this just keeps getting worse. Cronium trying to fight off here now, can actually scrap with the Sinja, but can't do it against both of them, as Koopa firing from the backside. Jinx trying to keep their space away from Sinja. On this Akali, does end up getting the kill. No. Gets excited just to die, as Koopa getting the last shot off.
That is huge for Koopa getting that shutdown right there.
Oh, how does that feel though when you get that kill and the death realm is not quick enough? Peachy does come through, gets a QE, does get the ult off and a kill back now, as the pings are coming through for the dragon. That seems where Bloom Gaming want to send all of their attention. They do have some defensive wards, but no offensive wards. So it's going to be on Goose and Pissarro to try to get some, some positioning, some vision positioning here, as both of these teams are going to come up. Jinx will be up before Smolder, but Akali will be up before Peachy on the Syndra. So we could end up seeing like a 3v3 or a 4v4 scrap over this dragon before this fight really starts.
Just trying to get some vision right now while they're getting their teammates to come together right now.
Yeah, and these new scuttles that Riot brought in do a hell of a job of doing that now. As Sinja actually is not on vision here, can be able to go in, as Peachy is going to get the QE. Alistair popping the ult. Sinja trying to find a way in here, as the rest of the team does end up getting onto the Jinx, but good hook from the Thresh is not going to be enough to save him. Now is Cronium and Pissarro trying to take everybody out, but this Akali is just way too far ahead, and Koopa is going to get another kill now. That's 7-8 on this Smolder with the full stacks. This game is really kind of one-sided here.
Yeah, right now, if you're a Bloom Gaming fan, this is kind of rough at the moment, but this is a best of 3 series. They can absolutely be able to come back in the next game and rally their way to 2 wins very easily.
Did the reverse sweep, and I'm glad that you said that. So since we have not a lull in the action, but kind of a lull in the game state here, as all of the tempo is for the side of XFV. If you're Bloom Gaming as an avid player yourself of these leagues, like, what is your mind state if you're Bloom Gaming right now? Is it, hey, let's keep this up, positive, or is this, we let this one get away from us, or like, how do you feel?
If I was in a game like this, I'd be talking about about the changes that we can make in this game that can also be applicable for next game. Particularly, I think they need to have more coverage in the mid side of the map. And being able to really try to deny Sinja from being able to spread the wealth, so to say.
Yeah.
Although at this point, Sinja probably shouldn't be going mid unless they're doing a death ball.
Yeah, so you think that it's just more of a, hey, we got this, we're gonna be fine, or is it indicative of the season maybe, right? Like okay, like this is because not that they're playing just terribly, but it does kind of seem like XFV came in with a game plan, executed their game plan really well, and Bloom Gaming is just kind of on the back foot this entire time. As the fight's about to break out, the ultimate coming out from Smolder is going to go wide right, and it's going to miss a lot here, as Smoke trying to get in there, does get Peachy into the death realm, will end up getting ulted, but Urgot getting the ult off now. Cronium is able to fear 2 people off, as now the Alistair jumping in. They're doing a great job at healing for Koopa, who's just able to stay in the backside of that fight and just fire round after round after round. And at that same time, Sinja, not even involved in the fight at 14-1-7. XFV just kind of smack them around with their wallets.
Yeah. So right now, if I'm a Bloom, I probably would look to play something a little more matching when it comes to rotations. Personally, I would go with my favorite champion, Galio. But,
yeah. Yes, Sinja gets in here. The turret is firing off, so it's doing a lot of damage, but not nearly enough here.
Yeah, so you'd want to see more from Bloom Gaming, maybe some supportive.
So something a little more capable of being defensive or utility in terms of if things don't go as well. Just more from the standpoint that a lot of these fixes that they could try to make would be things that you would need probably a few days to work on.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that. And then for XFV, what do you do here, right? Like they just had basically not a huge stomp, but I mean Sinja on this Akali absolutely dominating in this first game, but you do end up having to kind of like. Do you curtail your emotions and then say, okay, we need to like take a step back? It is going to start 0-0 again, or do you try to ride this wave and say, hey, let's just put the pedal to the metal, put our throats on our necks, and then just push for a winning game 2 and get this series over quick?
I would just stick with the same formula they did earlier. Like just get mid lane as comfortable as they can, and allow top lane to get a little bit of it. Their Smoke seems like the type of top laner to me that if you get them a kill or two early on, they will run with it. They'll just go with it and never look back. So I think just being able to get like an early gank off, like before level 6 or even at 6, would do wonders for them. And also, I think Joff is really good when it came to being able to control the positioning in fights with his Alistar. So getting something that can be able to sort of mimic it in a sense with the Fearless Draft format would be a really good idea, just to keep it going.
Yeah, I'd love to see the Rakan on something like that. I know it's not exactly similar, but does kind of offer. So yeah, I think you're right. Keeping Sinja on something that can completely snowball, get into the back line and just sort of like one shot the carries for the side of Bloom Gaming. And then if you're Bloom Gaming, maybe this one just kind of got away from them. But we saw Pissarro do really well on the jungle. I think that he kind of out jungled We'll Show Them All. We'll Show Them All just kind of had the added benefit of his team was just sort of stomping, more particularly Sinja in the mid lane. So not that either of them did bad, but it just, Pissarro and Cronium are the two bright spots. So maybe just like you were saying with Smoke, maybe we get Cronium onto something. We put Peachy on something maybe a little more safe. At least Akali's off the table. We do know that they banned LeBlanc, so maybe sticking with that kind of stuff. I do feel like Cronium did a really good job of that. And then both supports I think played their butts off in this one. I think both of these sort of had like comfort games, if you will, where they were both kind of able to do what they wanted. Jinx wasn't always under duress until Sinja showed up, and then Koopa able to fire off Qs like left and right from the backside. But anyways, with that being said, we're gonna go to a short break. Game 2 will be coming up. XFV 1-0 over Bloom Gaming for Week 5 Titan Esports Conqueror League. Don't go anywhere. All right, everybody, welcome back to Titan Esports Conqueror Week 5 showdown for the last seed in playoff implications. XSV versus Bloom Gaming. And game one was pretty succinct, quick, one-sided. XSV just kind of ran away with it. We did have Bloom Gaming, their top laner did kind of do stuff, but it was pretty one-sided off the back of Sinja. And we'll show them all just kind of like getting their mid laner ahead a ton. As we move into game two, what are we looking for, Mike?
For game two, again, we probably more utility or defensiveness from the mid lane for Peachy. Not to say that they can't beat Sinja, but just more allowing for potentially the bot lane or top lane to be able to just carry a little more consistently, because it looked like that they had more capability, at least in these in this series, to be able to do that. I'd like to see a bit more ward coverage as well when it comes to the mid side of the map. So maybe having Goose roam a little bit more, or just even Pizarro getting some pink ward to put in the mid side of the map could be huge when it comes to denying Sinja what they seem to be excelling at.
Yeah, and I think there was like maybe 2 or 3 times during that game, especially early on, where you were like, "Hey, look at the ward coverage!" Like this top side, like Pizarro's not getting anywhere without being seen, And we'll show them all kind of had a lot of pockets of stealth to kind of go through. So I agree with you on that one. I think that maybe that was just sort of a one-off game where Peachy, not that she had a bad game or not that he had a bad game, but like, what are you gonna do, right? Like,
Yeah.
and what you're going to do is ward and not get caught off guard, by we'll show them all and everything. So yeah, as we're about to get, into draft, we'll see if they change anything up here, or if both teams kind of go with the same idea, where are we just going to keep banning out as much top as we can, or what? As BLGC Bloom Gaming does end up vying to take the red side, and once again, this is Fearless. All the champions that are displayed on the bottom of your screen are unavailable for Game 2. And if we get into a Game 3, will be unavailable for Game 3 as the Ashe and the Shen.
Yeah, and Ashe was definitely going to be a champion that I'd like to see being picked by BLGC, but then the Kayn getting banned here, so they're definitely not wanting to having invades potentially, or wonky ganks, and then Darius being banned yet again with the Shen, so maybe we might see LeBlanc following it up as well.
Yeah, and so we do see a little bit of a change of the strategy for XFE, where they do end up going for the Kayn ban here. Maybe they want to pick that top laner that I forget who it was. I think it wasn't Darius.
It was Kale.
Kale. Okay, so maybe they want to try to take Kale for smoke, which would be absolutely awesome, because I love seeing that. But they are going to go for the Corki as the first pick. The ADC first pick trend is going to continue now for this series. We'll see what Bloom Gaming does to answer.
I'm picking the Xayah here, getting into good disengage ult to be able to control their own fights if they really want, or even engage, depending.
Flash forward, ult, E back. Okay. So the Amumu, me, I do love Rakan, and I would love to see Rakan come out here, but you obviously can't pick it with, the Poppy still on the table potentially. So the Amumu, it could be flexed, but we have been seeing it a lot more in the jungle. It just does so much more. It has a lot of its own damage. It has a lot of its own, abilities to dive in there. Curse of the Sad Mummy goes off and hits 3 or 4 people, as the Ornn is going to get picked up for XFE. So yeah, there's a lot that the Mummy can do. I like seeing it in the jungle. The jungle clear time for a tank is, especially fast on Amumu, because he can hop around with the bandage toss, and we're going to see the Braum rounding out round 1. So we have the Xayah, Amumu, and Braum for BLGC. That is going to be a jungle Mummy more than likely, and the Ornn, Maokai, and Corki for XMV.
Yeah, so right now, Kale is still available. They're still banning top laners on Greed's side, with Bloom still not having mid decided just yet.
I honestly wouldn't mind seeing like a Trundle coming out from Bloom Gaming here. Put Cronium on something like that, where he could just like run rampant, send Pizarro up there for a couple times, and then just sack all of the stats, away from this Ornn. But I guess we'll have to see. It is going to end up being the Renekton, which safe pick. I think not terrible. Does have a lot of CC, and can drain and tank off a lot too, with a lot more mobility than the Trundle has, but not as much power and not as much fun for me.
Yeah, they do have a lot of disengage right now when it comes to Braum, Amumu, and Xayah, and then they pick Aurora to go to top off their draft in mid lane.
This is, depending on who they pick, if it's not going to be like an Orianna or something, like this could, Hwei. I was going to say, mid laners, Aura really shines against mid laners like the Yasuos and the Yons that we see, just because of the, amount of range that they have. But how do you beat a ranged champion? Outrange them, as the Hwei comes through for Peachy picks. I'm excited to see this matchup more than anything, I think, mainly because I feel like Peachy didn't play badly, just got caught out. And so if they fix all the things that you had said to fix, from game 1 to 2, with maybe some extra warding help from the support or the jungle, then maybe we'll see a little bit better of a performance out of Peachy. And shout out to my boy Zabel with the Maokai coming through for Will Show the Ball. I love this champion on the jungle almost as much as I love, the Amumu jungle. So both of these comps are very standard, straightforward, front to back, and I feel like more aggressive go button for XFV and more heal back and take the fight as it comes to you for Bloom Gaming.
Yeah.
So how are you feeling about that, Mike?
So right now, I have to say, I think that Greed actually did greed with their draft just a bit with picking Nami later on. Like, you have Braum right now who can deny Ornn's ultimate if he angles his shield right, but then you also have Nami's ult as well that can be denied by it. So yeah, and Maokai as well. So if Braum does it just right, that's a lot of mitigation right there. Even Corky's ultimate as well.
Yeah. So it's basically like a tale between the go button and the come at us button. I really do like this, and if Goose can play Braum as well as he played Thresh, like that's a huge avenue of approach here that they can use to sort of funnel through. And if Zaya ends up getting something going, then like maybe playing through bottom is the way that DLG comes through. So that could be an issue as well. As we're about to hop into game, I do believe from production we are going to have a small delay, so we will be able to talk about this game and analyze what we think is going to happen. And the most important thing that we're going to analyze here is caster prediction here from Mike. What do we think? You called XFV in game 1. Who do you got for game 2?
I think we're going with game 3 right now.
I think the problem is that important, huh?
Oh, a bit so. I also think that they just have a better composition for being able to just really control the fights here.
Okay.
All
right. Yeah. All right, so as we're getting into this, unfortunately, the game did crash on our observer, so we are going to be starting this game at the 6-minute mark. It is paused right now. You hear the Corky going off. The lanes look pretty even to me as we're getting through here. We're not seeing the 60 CS first back for the top laners, so obviously they're scrapping, and we do see that Pissarro on the Samumu did end up taking the dragon, the first dragon, and at 6 minutes in, like, they got it pretty quick, so obviously they're doing a good job of, managing this game for the side of Bloom Gaming. And when there's no kills and you get an early dragon, you're doing something right. As now Goose and Jellybean about to pop off here as the flash is going to come out from Jeff on this Nami. So the first little bit of scrapping going on now as we're about to get into a little bit more is now the junglers are showing up. We'll show them all is looking to maybe get the Twisted Advance and does get the Maokai Q onto the backside, but it is on the Braum. He's going to block a ton of damages that are going in. We'll show them all having the flash away. Pissarro does get the bandage toss, which puts him in position to fire a Koopa now. Trying to get away, does have the sustain from the Nami, but a lot of damage coming out from Panir on the Zaya as the Nami bubble does catch, but there's just no follow-up for this Corky not having the best start. But the first scrap going 1-0 for the side of Bloom Gaming.
So I've actually never seen that Ornn chroma before, but it's kind of awesome. I know, a little off topic.
Again, production just anytime that there's anything not really going on the map, directed camera will be going to smoke on this Ornn. It's pretty cool. So a little bit of an overstep from Greed as they did want to take that fight there. It does look like Will show them all does get the Twisted Advance off onto the Renekton, is going to close him in here, but Ornn not with a lot of mana on the follow-up. The ultimate taking out Koldomik coming through, and Cronium barely going to get away. Unfortunately, Smoke just didn't have the mana, but coming back through, Cronium looking like he wants to scrap this and hold this out for Pissarro, who just hit 6, is going to try to get the bandage toss in. Will miss from the flash, and the smite kill from Will show them all is going to take down Renekton, as now Sinja coming up on the Aurora is going to try to get through, maybe get like a dash into Between Worlds, but not going to be able to follow it up. And that overstep from Bloom Gaming, more so Cronium, is going to cost his team the grubs.
Yeah, a little bit of a greed play by Bloom there, unfortunately for them.
Right. Also unfortunate. Will Show Them All does end up staying, while Sinja, for some reason, maybe some miscommunication, or they thought Pissarro left, but coming through, wins the 50-50 smite on the first grub, and then kills Will Show Them All on the Maokai and takes all 3 grubs. So now that is Bloom Gaming getting all 3 grubs and the first dragon, so, and the first blood, and they're up 2-1. So right now, Bloom Gaming in the driver's seat early on in this game.
Right now, that's exactly what they're hoping to look for with this composition right now. I mean, both teams technically scale, but I think Bloom needs their early game a little bit more in terms of just having a lead to be able to stick with.
Yes, we are going to get the ultimate off from Peachy. Is going to get the Q to land, but just not enough, or the QQ or Q, screw Hui and all of his schools. As Sinja is going to have to back off, so we are seeing a much more dominant performance out of Peachy early on, as now the top laners wanting to fight. What a surprise is Cronium going in, Smoke trying to repay this here. The grasp, against the Conqueror does kind of favor the grasp, in these shorter trades and stuff, but Cronium doing a good job, even though he got picked off early on, is doing his best to fight, has 17 CS lead, and just trying to keep this wave shoved in for his jungler to be able to go everywhere else.
I love the Orange build at the moment with just so much armor.
Yeah, I mean, until late game, he's not really going to have to deal with anything too big. I guess the Mummy, as the Twisted Events is going to come out, is going to get blocked up by the Prom Goose on the He's going to be able to flash, heal, and come back, but not going to be able to get too much out of it. The turret shots are going to be too much as the re-engage comes in. Pissarro misses the bandage toss by a well-timed flash from Koopa. May try to re-engage here again, but, will Show Them All not really giving up here as they're trying to make whatever they can happen, as the kill does go over to the Corki, which will be big because he can get really big really quick now, as Cronium trying to get onto here. The Unstoppable will stop the Cold Meek, but the Ignite and the flash forward and the last auto, Cronium gonna take that kill down, gonna get another plate here, and Renekton getting really, really big up in the top side.
Yeah, that's exactly what they're looking to get from Cronium right now. As he's probably one of their biggest sources of damage. Also, Mumu already has Leandry's completed, which is huge, because now he can start going tank if he really wants to. Just add more consistent frontline without really having to worry too much about consequences.
Right, yeah, and I mean, he does have the green Pokemon, so he is going to more than likely go that after the Leandry's. This is the standard build for most of Mumus, unless you're in solo queue and you want your Mumu to go, 5-0 and then just die every time he shows up to a fight. But yeah, substantial CS lead. That's 2 Drakes now. That is the 3 Grubs due to bad positioning early on from Will Show Them All, and Sinja kind of leaving him there, as now the collapse is trying to come through. Pissarro is going to get the bandage toss in, is going to miss out, and Peachy doing his best on the Hui to get this off, as Will Show Them All is going to go down at the same time as the Amumu. Sinja on the backside here will hit the Between Worlds and almost get caught up by Cronium. That was almost really bad. Flash forward over the wall, the electrocute, not enough damage, as Peachy able to hit everything from over on the other side of the wall. Cronium gonna finish up that kill. A little bit too much from Sinja, and now, the Cold Meek just enough to stop him. Unstoppable will come through, but he will get the kill. Cronium on this Renekton now 3-1, and Peachy a clean 0-0-3 and a 30 CS lead on this way for Bloom Gaming.
Peachy is making me eat my words right now.
I think I called it though, right? I said it was a one-off, maybe.
Yeah.
So we are going to get a little bit of a scrap. Zaya going to pull the feathers back, but take all the damage from this Corki, as now the Braum shield is down, but the Nami ult will go wide. The Tide, not enough to catch either of them out. Bubble's going to go wide, and the Braum ultimate, enough to keep Koopa off of his Paneer using the streamer mode. So ADC, the fill-in for for Zaya is actually Paneer, so try to remember to get that name as much as I can so they get the credit. But yeah, a little bit of scrap in the bot lane, a lot of ultimates and summoners burned, but nothing coming out of it, as now the first turret does end up going over to the side of Bloom Gaming. Smoke on the back foot basically this entire game.
Yeah, so right now, just looking at the map, it's pretty consistent leads when it comes to all sides for Bloom here.
Yeah, and this Aurora getting completely artilleried out of lane all day by Peachy, so in a much better position than they were game one. Doing really good job, and Sinja just having a hard time. Is now Cronium trying to get on top of Smoke here. The Ornhorn might have to be used, as now Renekton is out there. Pissarro trying to come through. The flash for the flash is going to come through. The bandage toss going to go wide north on there. Is now we'll show them all trying to get in here and do a little bit, but not much to be gotten here. Is now on the bot side. Xayah trying to go in onto the Corki. The Braum jumping through is going to catch everything. The ultimate coming out. The feathers will not be able to come back through and get anything, so nothing for a lot there. As now mid lane, Sinja kind of caught out of position, but so is Peachy, as Maokai coming through is able to get the Twisted Advance down, and we'll show them all getting the kill for themselves, but not much else that they can do here. Ornhorn going to come out, going to try to save him, as he will actually get the double knockup. Pissarro going in, does get the kill on the Curse of the Sad Mummy, just enough to keep Sinja off of his back, as now Cronium oversteps, and another kill. A great play from Pissarro on this Amumu to save themselves, lock it up, and then get out of dodge just in time. But Cronium gonna have to pay the price for BLGC's hubris there, as now 3-2 on this Renekton. Starting to come back in line here, as Braum's shield is gonna have to be everything, as both ultimates from the supports are put out. Xayah trying to scrap, but just losing every one-on-one trade with this Corki, especially with the Nami in his back pocket healing him.
Mumu right there is saying with a hockey grin, not even close, baby.
Yeah, that was absolutely a genius play by him coming through there. Skin of his teeth, but yeah, that was.
Oh my goodness. So right now, looking at Greed Gaming, what do you think they need to do here in order to be able to regain some ground?
I think what they're doing now, setting in the top over here to try to get maybe some numbers advantage. You want to complete some of these items as well. You have the Maokai sitting on, Haunted Guys and Liandry's, and BLGC. Now that they've popped this, they're so far ahead. Maybe just try to get some plates. Maybe try to get some advantage here, because Braum is about to block like 2 or 3 of these ultimates that are going to come through. You got the Ornhorn, as you said in draft, like he can just do so much here, but as they're starting to close the distance here onto this, you have Peachy doing their job as the artillery mage on the way. And now they've turned their sights, XSV has turned their sights over to pushing the bot wave at the same time to try to make them commit to either the dragon or backing off. And Bloom Gaming does just that, is now they're going to try to shove in this mid even more and steal away some jungle camps here, as now Smoke caught up by the way a little bit. Twisted Events is coming through. Cronium takes a lot of damage on the backside of that from Sinja. That's 2 members caught up with the Maokai ult. Now they're just going to try to get out of here, but Sinja caught on the wrong side of the rift here. If she gets seen, she might get hopped on by the Amumu, as the Nami Bumble is going to go. Flashes over the walls coming through. Bandage Toss is going to miss, as Goose now trying to get in there with his mummy. He's going to get into the back here. Flash coming out from the Maokai, as Braum blocking 2 of the ultimates, but paying for his life there, as now the re-engage coming from XSV. Does look like they want to take this fight, as they now have the numbers advantage. But both teams sort of backing off here. I don't. That was really weird. That dragon play, right? I'm not wrong.
Yeah. It was, I to be honest, I don't really. Yeah. I just don't know, man.
Okay, because it seemed like they had all of the tempo of the game. They have the better 5v5 at this point. They have all the money. They still have a 2k gold lead even after that fight. And it just seemed like they started the dragon, they got off. They were very, flippant on their decision making. Now as Xayah's getting, oh man, that is so much damage. Is the Xayah ultimate going to go the wrong way? Flash away Flash coming in from Koopa, and somehow Zaya's screwing that up. Does still kind of get it, but yeah, weird dragon fight. But now Cronium and Pissarro trying to get this. Wow, they just go past basically an elongated dive without a Braum there, and Koopa and Jellybean able to just take out the Zaya.
Oh my goodness. The thing is, too, like, they need to keep Ornn, like, I guess they need to keep Ornn, like, leveling up, because that's the big factor for their win condition, is just being able to get those Ornn items and have the game last as long as possible. And, right now, just only being level 13 at this point. Not that that's too horrible, but, like...
Yeah, as we do see the Dominus popped in smoke, trying to fight along with Cronium here. The ultimate is going to come down here, and we'll show them all. Does want to go. The flash is going to come out. Maokai caught under the turret, but Smoke takes the aggro, and now the Ornhorn coming through here. He is going to take another turret shot as he's going to have to back off. That's a wasted ult, basically, from the Ornn now, as Cronium is going to try to get some cooldowns, and now Zaya chasing will show them all. Trying to get in here. The Banish Toss is going to miss. Is he going to be able to run them around for an execution here? It does look like it. And Smoke on the top side kills Cronium and gets executed. So really good job by this Ornn, as Peachy Pie trying to get away is going to have to turn around into a Sinja. Goose on this Braum is the next target, as Koopa and Jellybean trying to go through here, as the Banish Toss is going to go in between like a field goal. Braum ultimate into the Curse of the Sad Mummy on top of it. Gonna cleanse right into the Braum passive, but just enough for Sinja to get the return kill. And now it is Bloom Gaming on the backside here, is now the Braum shield not enough to get away from here. Is Jellybean. They do end up changing who their targets are, so Jellybean does flash forward for Panera on the Zaya does not get the kill, and Braum gets away. A little bit of miscommunication and missed opportunity from XSV.
Yeah, so right now, looks like everyone has their quest completed for both teams. Let's see. It looks like blue side is starting to take more control in terms of vision, specifically in bot side. Ornn scrapping with Renekton and starting to get zoned off. That does not go well for Greed right now.
No, it doesn't. This was kind of the story of the first game too, right? Where Cronium was actually doing better than Smoke on the Mordekaiser, when Cronium was on the Urgot. So that hasn't really changed too much. Ornn is sort of more of a, negator than he is like a, a lane winner. So the win condition for Bloom Gaming is going to come probably through Cronium or a super sailed Zaya at the end. But yeah, you're right. What you were saying earlier about how this Ornn is sort of like the win con for the late game, as they do want to scale into this. Is now the Dominus is popped and the top laners sort of kind of going at it. The Ornhorn is going to hit, and Cronium found himself on the wrong side here, as Smoke is going to flash forward. The Q is going to miss from Cronium, so no healing will come through. And Smoke with a solo bolo on this Ornn against the Renekton will be able to back and teleport in here for this dragon fight.
Yeah, that's huge for Greed Gaming right now.
Yeah, it just seems like the entire tempo of this game has completely shifted away from Bloom Gaming off of that last dragon fight, right? Like where they lost, 2 members, I think, in total, and gave away the dragon, and lost jungle, and lost, their tier 1 mid. So now XSV is not going to let that happen to them, as they now all collapsing on the dragon. Peachy doing a good job of getting a lot of damage on the outside, but Jellybean healing so much on this Nami now. And while they are doing this, they are losing the tier 2 bot side, but Peachy caught up by the in-between worlds, and now the follow-up onto Goose on this Braum. The Braum shield doing just enough to get him out there, and Paneer, is waiting in the wings, as now Cronium has entered the fight here. Zaya trying to do whatever they can, but that is so much damage coming out of Sinja. He's not going to be able to do anything else on the backside of this. Ornn coming through, Smoke coming through on the Ornn, and just finishing that off, is now Cronium trying to get some more kills. Does end up taking out the Nami, is coming out for the Maokai, but not able to get on top of him. But the Bandage Toss does. That is a dead
Maokai followed up in Cronium with a really nice play to close the gap onto Sinja. Does end up killing the Aurora, and now Smoke in a 3v1. Not far ahead enough on his Orn to be able to get that. At the same time, that is a Dragon going over for 2 kills to 3 kills and a tier 1 tower and a couple plates on the bot side for Bloom Gaming.
Yeah, and so right now they're Bloom Gaming did a really good job there, being able to put themselves back into this a little bit. This has been going back and forth constantly this whole game so far. Yeah, we're looking at the gold right now from both sides. Renekton has the lead, but he did just die to Ornn recently in a solo bolo. But right now, Mumu and Renekton both having the most gold for Bloom. And for Greed, definitely the Aurora.
Yeah, we saw in that last fight where Aurora basically like got 1 Q off, I think, and just basically like deleted Xayah. Like she was already like out of the fight, and the Thornmail from Ornn was enough to kill us. Now they are going to try to fight. Pissarro does get into the back with the bench toss. He's going to curse the Sad Mummy after Smoke uses his ultimate, and Sinja just barely going to miss. Braum is tanking up a ton of this damage, and the ultimates here now as Bloom Gaming trying to get the re-engage. We'll show them all super low as Peachy. The burn is going to be enough from the Hui, and Cronium, as soon as he joins, the rest of the team of XFV just kind of have to back off. So that is one scary alligator now as Baron is started up by Bloom Gaming, and it does look like XFV do kind of want this Smoke. They do want to try to get this fight going. As speaking of which, Smoke going in on this one between worlds on the backside is going to take out the Xayah, and at the same time fight going on to the south side where Cronium trying to do what he can, but Koopa ended up getting the kill. That's a double kill, and now the flash forward from Pissarro going to do what he can to try to save Peachy Pie, but now caught up in the Ornn, and Koopa with the kill at the end of that Jelly Bean, getting all the heals in, and we'll show them all on his way up. This might be a started Baron by Bloom Gaming and a finish off by XFV.
Goodness, yeah. And as is Kush mentioned in chat, AP Maokai, that is quite the choice here. I don't mind Bruiser, AP Bruiser Maokai, but just putting so much of their gold just to itemize into damage is kind of questionable. But Nami dying to the Baron.
That's not good. Yeah, Maokai on the way up. I mean, I don't hate the Bloodletter's curse, right? Like you think about it, like you have your Aurora, you have your Ornn, even your Nami does a little bit, and you know, Koopa also does. I think it's what, like 40-50% magic damage on the Corki, at least on his auto attacks, right? So like, not the worst thing, but then the Zonya's after.
Personally, I would have gone with Abyssal Mask if you're trying to reduce resistances, and probably go for like a Bambi's item, depending on what they feel they need more. So, but right now, so far, 4 of the 5 champions having the Ornn upgrades, with only Sinja being the one who doesn't.
No. Yeah, as we'll show them all, getting caught out by Pissarro here, does end up using his Zonias. Is that just a bait? Oh my goodness, is like, Pissarro comes in, but Koopa on the backside there just dishing out so much damage. And just the Mummy, Tank Mummy deleted really quickly, as that might be the best mistake bait that I have seen in a very long time, as it looked like he zone used on accident, but the rest of his team ready to go as Pissarro just tosses into death. And now this tier 2 turret is the next target, and Smoke just taking all the turret shots. Does not matter, does not care. XFV poised to try to push this game and break it wide open.
Smoke being a large in charge there. Right now, what do you think Bloom needs to do in order to regain some more control in this map? Because right now, they have an opportunity if they decide to forego Dragon.
I don't. Well, what they're doing now is not the answers. The Ornhorn's going to come through along with the Twisted Advance. Pissarro does get into the back, gets a 5-man ult, but the Dominus is kind of broken up by Smoke on the backside. Cronium trying to get as much damage as he can off on this Renekton and allow his team to fire from the outside. Between Worlds going to
not do too much except for get Sinja a little bit closer. Peachy trying to get out. Goose is going to be able to W back to his minion line. They are chasing this Braum down here. Now is a couple of the rockets going to go wide. And now Sinja caught up under the turret. Peachy is going to do what they can. Does get the Q up, but it misses barely with a little bit of a sidestep. And now Peachy trying to go through the flash. Twisted Advance is going to come through from the Maokai. Will show them all. Gets it off. The ultimate from Hui. Not enough because Jellybean has a heal. And nothing is really going well for them right now. And I think Bloom Gaming, what they're going to have to do is get picks. Maybe have somebody hover Cronium on the side lane. Maybe somebody like Pissarro to just hover and create a numbers advantage. I don't think there's any way back into this game besides numbers advantage or throws from XFV. But XFV, much like game one, vision control, tempo control, and now fight control is kind of all going their way.
Yeah, and right now Aurora has 6 stacks on their Dark Seal, so you gotta keep an eye on that for the next fight. Can they get it to 10?
Yeah, I mean, we haven't seen the Magi's in a while, so maybe that would be a nice flex, fun, pickup for Sinja, but maybe not as now. Pissarro trying to do what they can here. Is going to end up getting the second bandage toss. Is sort of winning this 1v1, but Koopa waiting out in the wings as Jeff is also coming through. It does look like it's just going to be a dead mummy for nothing, as now that is 4 members on the top side here, pushing through, getting the Baron minions to try to shove into this turret here, as never mind, the Baron buff has now worn off. They are just going to back here, but when the mummy can hop onto the Aurora under a turret and still... the Aurora walks away full health. How are you feeling, as Bloom Gaming at that point, right? Like, what are they even going to be able to do to this?
Yeah, it's rough. And finally, Aurora gets the Ornn upgrade for Rabadons, I believe it was.
Oof. Yeah, that's a hefty amount of AP going her way, right?
Yeah. I would
now
not
she
want to
builds
be...
the Magi's.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, so right now, Amumu looking to get more tank items, and adds the leading in kills champion right now. That's kind of rough when your tank's the one who has all that gold.
Yeah, that's true. For the most part has been, doing better, at least with CS and control than, will show them all. But yeah, this 10-0-6, quiet 10-0-6, Koopa on this Corki, it hasn't been much of the storyline here, but obviously is doing a lot, as we saw earlier. It seems like both of the carries for the side of XFV are able to melt that tank Amumu pretty quickly, as now we're going to see if Cronium pops it. Dominus does get the Kolomik off, but Sinja using the Worlds Between to just kind of escape that for sort of free, but that is 2 huge ultimate cooldowns that are not going to be available for this fight, and depending on who you ask, the Aurora one is really, really big because she could delete 2 of the carries for the side of Bloom, as now the Twisted Advance is going to come through. Oh, Peach is going to be able to flash out of that on the backside of this smoke. Is going to get stunned up here. Is going to call the Ornn Horn. Will get Braum ulted, so won't be able to get it off. Decides to switch his attention over to the Amuma Pissarro, and this Amuma, doesn't matter how many tank items you have when you melt that quick, is now XFV looking for the push at the end. The flash forward from Sinja is going to get the Xayah ultimate in response, and the just running through, not caring about towers or anything. Peachy able to get a good combo off, but it's only going to take down the members by about half health. We'll show them all. We'll be able to heal up off the backside of that. And XFV poised to take the rest of this base now, as they are going to at least take the inhibitor, but it does look like the call is to back off here after another easy win for them.
Yeah, so right now, they're looking to go for Dragon? Yeah, go for Dragon right now. And try to get Dragon Soul, or Mountain Soul, sorry. Right now, this is quite huge for them, too, because Ornn has already been incredibly difficult to take down. You saw Zaya was trying to put out damage there in the base, and she just wasn't really doing much to him.
Right.
So being able to have that extra shield on top of it, that's rough. That's really rough.
It is, and the added resistances, right? And something that I always like to, talk about it is like when you look at games, right? And you look at like the dragon stacks, right? And you can be like, okay, so like, what's the story of this game? When you see the first two dragons are non-matching, and then the next four dragons on the other team are all the ones you know that somewhere in the midpoint of the game, the entire tempo of the game turned around, and that's exactly what happened here. From that third dragon, where Bloom Gaming made like a blunderous play where they didn't know what they were doing, as the Baron is now going to go over to the side of XFV as well. Like, ever since then, this game has been completely turned on its head and has been for the side of XFV. So Greed able to get everything that they want out of this. Is Sinja going to try something cheeky here? Will be spotted on a ward, and we'll see if Bloom Gaming really want to fight this out or not, as Cronium, now level 18, is going to be looking for the level 19 and 20 spikes here, but might be a little too late, as now Koopa and Smoke looking to press this. They do have the minion advantage, the Baron minions, and now it does look like they want to go in. The Bandage Toss is going to end up hitting a minion, and Amumu is going to be treated like a minion as he's going through. Just gets completely shredded here. Between worlds on the backside here, Zaya is going to end up hitting the ult. Will pull the feathers back in, but we'll show them all on the AP. Maokai able to negate all of the damage in Cronium. Last bastion of defense and hope for the side of Bloom Gaming is going to fall. That's going to be a tier 3. That is going to be the mid lane getting shoved in along with the super minions and the Baron buff, and that is going to be a clean 2-0 victory for the side of XFV Gaming.
Yeah, Greed being very excited now to have improved their chances for playoffs. They have the tiebreaker now between the two, I believe. So they're definitely very happy about this one.
Yeah, 100%. Congratulations to XFV Greed. That was two like really strong showings, and we saw like in the first game, we'll show them all, and Sinja being able to just sort of take it out with the Akali and the J4 combo and really get on top of really get on top of Peachy on the Sinja. And in the second game, it was Koopa and the bot lane, and everybody they're able to really just play around that and to get show multiple ways to like win a game, and the team fight and everything is I'm brought back down to size, much like my ego. So yeah, really strong showing from XFV in both of these games.
Yeah, absolutely. Who do you think is the player of the series, do you think?
Ooh, I always love those questions. So I will say that consistently through both of the series, if Bloom Gaming had won, I would have given it to Pissarro, right? Like what he did on the Xin Zhao was great. Cronium also really strong, but I don't like giving it to the losing teams. They did stand out, and I think that in both games, the carries were equally as strong. Like Koopa in game 2, absolutely, just completely outplayed Paneer. In game 1, Sinja obviously completely outplayed Peachy. So I think for this one, I would probably have to give it to, I would say Smoke. Now Jellybean did a great. It's between Smoke and Jellybean, and the reason I would give it to Smoke is he was almost 2,500 gold under the Renekton and got himself a solo kill. And then obviously in game 1 on the Mordekaiser did a really good job of picking out the right target and basically negating either the Urgot powerhouse or somebody else, or was able to catch the Jinx unaware. So I'm gonna give it to Smoke for this series.
Yeah, I would agree with you. That solo kill too, that turned the whole game. Like that was definitely the turning point for this, for not just that game, but also to get them to win this series.
Yeah, definitely. Good.
And
Got any
we're
final
gonna.
words before we go? Or you good? You
Oh,
good?
I'm good here.
All right. Well, once again, I am Fel. That was Mike. Thank you so much for filling in tonight, Mike. Both of us filling in on the cast for your regular Conqueror. You'll have your regular cast next week for week 6. I don't know who the matchup is, but thank you everybody for tuning in. Appreciate you guys so much, and thank you for Shrogan for pulling double duty last minute for Observer and OBS. And without him, we wouldn't have been able to bring this studio to you. So thank you guys so much. Appreciate you, and obviously appreciate you, XFV and Bloom Gaming, for putting on a very entertaining series. And congratulations once again to XFV. You are now sole place in the last playoff seed. Hold on to it. Make it to the playoffs, and you never know. Thank you everybody for tuning in. Have a great night. Stay safe. Peace.